We got so many good beers tonight. I'm so excited for all the good beers. Hey, beer nerds, it's Ryan and Brenda. We're coming at you tonight for a lovely Marzen Monday. We have 5 different Marzens, Oktoberfest, Fest beers lined up and ready to review tonight, along with some regular beer news too. So we're pretty excited. I see you making faces over there, just so hyped up. So how are you doing today?
I just had a coffee.
You just had a coffee, huh?
Yay!
You're really getting hyped up for
Yeah.
this, aren't you? Yeah. Okay, so we have 5 different beers to try. But
like it.
before we dive into the 5 different beer reviews, what do you know about the Marzen Oktoberfest Fest beer style?
Ryan is obsessed with it. It's
Okay.
German.
Mm-hmm.
In less than I should.
And less than you should. All right. Well, maybe the best way is going to be by popping open one of these. But yes, it's a lager style beer that was originally created to go along with the Oktoberfest celebrations in Munich, Germany. And those date back all the way to 1810, I think was the first one.
If anyone would know, it would be you.
Yeah, and that was the marriage of Prince Ludwig and Therese of, oh, I forget. You know, they all had 80 titles back then. Was it Saxony? Who knows? But Prince Ludwig and Therese got married, and that kicked off like 4 days of celebrations and horse racing and things like that. And then they just said, screw it, let's have a fall festival every year around this time and drink a bunch of beer. And so they made what was something pretty new at the time, which was lagered beer. And then they're called Märzens because they were brewed in March. So Marzen beer. Yep. They were made in March, and because it was illegal to brew beer at that time.
Well, why are you pouring already?
During the summer.
What are you doing?
Oh, sorry. What's up?
You didn't introduce it. You just cracked it open and started filling my glass.
Well, we got 5 to do tonight. We got to move along here. All right, here you go.
I guess.
So what we have first is, I wanted to start with a pretty quintessential nationally available brand for everybody. So tonight we're starting with the Sam Adams Oktoberfest. This is available probably around the country, no problem.
Well, it's this country.
Yeah, here in the States anyway. But it's a really good one. Let's see, it's got 5.3% ABV, only 16 IBUs, and of course it's a nice fine lagered beer. Already saw it poured once, but we'll go again for my glass here.
Woo.
But you get that great, and this is what I love so much about the style, especially in the fall. You get a great copper color. This beer also comes with a nice kind of foamy white head, about a finger thick in these small tasting glasses. But yeah.
I would like some beer.
They're like, oh, she wants some beer? Well, good. It's Marzen Monday. I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
Everybody gets a beer.
It's one of my favorite styles of beers. So I'm very excited to dive into this one. And this is kind of a pretty standard one. A lot of the beer review websites have it as pretty middling.
Cat.
Yeah, you're getting mauled by that cat.
I am.
She wants your beer, man.
Well, I'm trying to get her toy, but she won't let go of my hand long enough for me to give her the toy. I'm just gonna sit here and be mauled. Ryan's gonna review beer today.
Yeah, I'll review the beer today. No worries. So, as a lager, it's usually got a pretty clean nose. It doesn't have a ton of crazy complex aromas or anything like that. It's just a pretty clean nose. On this one, I'm not really getting a whole lot of hops or even a lot of malted barley. It actually just smells a lot like kind of wheat. And
this is gonna sound dumb, but it smells like beer.
Yeah, that's right.
In that quintessential, like when you first have a beer and you think, okay, this is what beer is.
Right. Yeah.
And by that I typically mean like an average domestic.
Yeah, you get a couple noble hops on the nose, but like nothing, no crazy American hops in here, no big aromas. It just smells like a clean beer. So
yeah, smells like beer. Tastes like beer.
Yeah, so this one I would say, is fairly weedy. Does have a pretty clean finish to it.
Very weedy.
Yeah, definitely has a clean finish on it. It looks like, just to get this nice little copper color, they didn't need a whole ton of dark malts to add a lot of malt flavor to it, and definitely not very hoppy. This one,
no,
definitely.
There may be a hop.
Right, yeah, but you're not getting a lot of bitterness at all.
If there is, it's just the one.
Yep. So, your
Our-
cat's causing more problems.
Oh, my cat.
Yeah, when she's in trouble, it's your cat.
Who brought her on the porch?
Well, it might be time to put her inside.
Good news. I have a pocket full of paper.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so, but besides this being a really clean tasting beer, I'd say it's really, really a good drinkable one.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're just looking for an easy step into the style of Oktoberfest beers, of Märzen's in general, I think this is a good starting place. What do you think?
It's definitely easy.
Mm-hmm.
I would indeed describe it as easy.
Right, yeah. And Sam Adams is known for a lot of their lagers being that way, being pretty easy to drink, doing a lot of good stuff like that. So yeah,
it's really sweet for me, but I'll give it that.
I'm not getting a ton of sweetness, but
I'm getting all sweet.
Okay.
But I do tend to be a little disfavorable towards sugary tastes in my beer, which is odd because I love porters and stouts and chocolate.
Yep, fair enough.
Malty goodness.
Well, maybe we'll have to do Dunkel Thursday or something
I would love Dunkel
in a month
Thursday.
or so. How about that? We'll just run through beer styles every month. German beer styles. Yeah.
I like it. Can somebody get me a name of a day of the week in another language that starts with D so we can keep this up?
Oh, you're right. That'd be pretty.
That's what I need.
That'd be pretty sweet. All right.
Sorry if I'm just leaning out of frame. I'm playing fetch with the cat.
Well, good. Keep her entertained.
Well, it keeps her from eating me, so.
Dion says it's Tuesday in Futureland, so.
Oh, yay, Futureland!
Yeah, but still good for drinking. Hops and Bros is here. Cheers. Thanks so much.
Hey.
I do really enjoy this Oktoberfest hat, too.
It was a well-spent $1.
Yeah, it was $1, wasn't it?
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
He may or may not have dressed up as a generic German person for Halloween one year because I found a costume labeled Beer Wench.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't pass up a costume only labeled Beer Wench.
You were a saucy beer wench.
I'm always saucy. I tend to be a beer wench. That day it just happened to go together thematically.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It was a great costume.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a good day to wear that costume.
Right.
It was
cold.
like 40 degrees.
Yeah, pretty cold. And Jonas says, cheers, nice hat as well. Thank you very much.
It's a good hat.
Yeah. So I guess we can do, while we chug all these samples, because they're so delicious, I guess I can do some beer news in between.
I was like, this one isn't going to take very long for me to polish off.
No, we're gonna work through this one pretty quick. Oh, looks like Drunken One's getting in tonight, too.
Hey!
Mm-hmm. I should shoot him a message about a brew day coming up and see if he wants to come hang out. But anyway, so this was a story I picked out just for you. This one comes to us courtesy of Fortune, and that is that sour beers are starting to win over a lot of wine drinkers who were kind of reluctant to switch to the craft beer world. And they actually interviewed the Dogfish Head brewery founder. Oh, what's his name? Sam Caglione, something like that. But yeah, he said that, now that they're experimenting with more sours, doing some weird barrel aging things. And actually, some of these barrel aging techniques come from the wine industry in general.
Right.
So, it's really no wonder that wine drinkers are really starting to take notice of these kind of more uniquely flavored sour beers.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things that people kind of consistently tell me when I say I don't like wine is that I really like all of the flavor profiles that should indicate I like wine.
Right.
I've just never found a wine I like as much as I do sour beers.
Got it. Yep.
Because a lot of those same sort of notes that people think I would like. Apparently, I'm supposed to be trying red wine, which is so counterintuitive to me because that's everything I think I would like least about wine. Oh, cat. Cat.
She is causing all the problems tonight.
Cat.
Oh,
That's
she's
not
going
gonna
inside. Bummer. Oh well, maybe next time she'll behave and we can get her on the stream. Yeah.
This is the wonderful nature of having a now teenage cat.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
And by teenage, I mean in her development and not her actual age.
Yeah. So, yeah, you were saying that you should be trying red wine, and that's what people tell you all the time because you love the sour beers so much.
I was gonna say, I'm told the flavor profiles I like in sour beers would be really equivalent to red wine, which is confusing for me because I think I should like white wine because I like that dry, citrus sort of thing. People are like, no, you need to go for red wine because it's meatier and fuller and it has all these weird things. I'm like, okay. I'm trying, you guys. I'm trying.
Well, chat seems to agree with you. Dion says sour beer rules. So there you go. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll have to do a sour Saturday.
Yay!
We can put that on the list.
Sour Saturdays.
Yeah, you get to be in charge of that one.
You can dole out the Tums.
Yeah, that's right.
You know Brenda's had the choice of beer when, at early hours of the morning, the medicine cabinet's open and the Tum container starts crackling.
Yep, got to get myself some antacid so I can stomach all that sour beer.
I have no problems. I used to have like a steel stomach.
Yeah, well, you do like some of those really hyper acidic brews for sure.
Unpasteurized milk and sour beer. I can handle anything.
All right.
Bring it on.
Oh, bring it on, you say. All right. Well, next up for our Mega Marzen Monday. Oh, I should have called it that. Damn. Next time. All right.
Next Marzen Monday.
Yes.
You should have seen him going through the Oktoberfest section, by the way.
All right.
This was a debacle.
Oh, yes.
It was a crisis.
I am probably going to butcher this name, but this is the...
You are going to butcher this
This
name.
is the Hacker Shore... Oh dear, something's trying to play music on my computer.
Hey!
None of that. I'm trying to talk about beer. The Hacker Shore Original Oktoberfest. This is their Amber Marzen. So, not really...
Hang on.
Yeah, so Marzens and Oktoberfest beers can kind of range in color from not like clear like a Pilsner, but kind of straw colored and clear.
Okay.
All the way to like a deep caramel and amber. And they kind of vary it up because... Marzens tend to be anywhere from 5 to 6% ABV. If you have a really aggressive brewer, maybe they'll get up to 7. But if you're serving people 5-6% beer all day at a beer festival and
they're
1 liter
Steins, they're all going to have a lovely day.
Yeah, they are all going to have a lovely day. So some brewers
and everybody who cleans the porta potties is going to have a lovely day.
Yeah, that's right. So some brewers actually can kind of go towards the lighter side, make it a little bit more like in the 4 to 5 range as opposed to 5 to 6. So
that would make sense.
Yeah, but amber, we're gonna see how it tastes, but I'd expect maybe a little more malt on this German import. And this one comes straight from Munich itself, so we're gonna get a really authentic experience here.
Sorry, I'm watching the cat sprint back
and
forth.
So let's see how it pours.
Our windows.
We get a nice little bit of smoke, but I'm sure our camera's covering up. So yeah, we have another nice copper color. Actually, it's a little bit lighter than the last one, though.
Is.
Yeah.
That's a fair shade lighter than the last one.
Yeah, a little bit lighter than the last one, though.
That's at least orange too.
Yeah, not quite as heady as the Sam Adams either, but definitely pouring out very nicely.
Incredibly clear.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got just absolutely crystal clear, and unfortunately my lighting is not going to do that justice, but
nope, need one backlight.
Yeah, that's right.
Oops, sorry guys. Oh, hey,
next time. There you go. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah,
it's like I studied light for 3 days.
So yeah, this is the really authentic, straight from Germany itself kind of stuff. So let's dive onto the nose. Now this one,
it doesn't have one.
No. See, I get the exact opposite. So I get a little bit of that weediness on the front.
Yeah.
That Sam Adams delivered, but then that caramel malt starts to build towards the back, and you can smell that. This one's gonna pack a little bit more flavor than that other one. You can already tell on the nose.
It's really subtle on the nose.
Right. Yeah.
I have to get way in there.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. But. Yeah, crystal clear. The head kind of dissipated quickly, but I'm excited to taste this one. Let's go for it.
Oh, okay. I thought I didn't like Marzens.
Oh, yeah?
I really did.
Yeah, well, You said you wanted a little bit more malt flavor. I think you're getting it here for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely still pretty weedy, but it's not. It's definitely well balanced for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's actually got a hop profile too.
Yeah, you definitely do get some hops on the nose and a little bit more of a bitter bite too. So, yeah, it definitely this one turned up the flavor. It appears that the brewers in Munich do know what they're doing.
Huh.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a little bit. It's got that slightly dry, astringent quality to it.
Yeah,
but it's definitely got enough malty sweetness that I'm not airing out my taste buds.
Yeah.
It's just enough that it's clearing your palate out as you're drinking it.
Right, yeah.
It's not sticking around very long.
Yeah, so this is brewed in Hackerporsch Brau in Munich, Germany. Yep.
Uh-huh.
And they have a really cool brewed in Munich seal right in the bottom corner there. Oh, geez, my lighting's terrible for this. But that little purple symbol right down there, yeah, that's the brewed in Munich seal, which I think is actually really cool, especially if you're looking for a nice, authentic product.
Right.
That's a great way to do that. Mm-hmm.
It should probably be noted, if any of you have read backwards, Ryan does indeed have the Prost glass, even though we have not been toasting properly. Well, I went a little Scottish at the moment, so I have the Sláinte glass.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops. What can I say? I only painted one of each. He went full German.
Mm.
Though I'm the one in the Bauhaus shirt, so I think I
that's
I win.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, this beer is really bringing a lot more flavor to the table. So yeah. Very good.
This is definitely a standout as compared to the last one.
Oh yeah.
This is memorable.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, absolutely. So let's see, what other beer news do I have?
She says as she burns through this beer, and I won't say record sampling time.
Oh no, yeah. Good news article in Forbes this week about how craft brewers are beginning to kind of go after some of the more macro beer markets. They're starting to brew some beers with the aim of dropping prices a little bit.
Okay.
If I know you don't follow this scene, but you've got the Trillium brewers who are, making 4-pack 16-ounce cans for $20 for 4 beers or stuff like that. 24, 25, and then they can go even higher if people are doing beer trades or secondary market sales. It's insane.
This makes me grumpy.
Then on the other end, you've got some brewers trying to expand their market. You got Founders, coming out with their Solid Gold lager, which is just $8 a can, depending on, or $8 a 6-pack, depending on where you are. Sorry, not $8 a can.
What?
No, you're right. $8 a 6-pack, depending on where you are, which is a pretty decent price. And
I can work with that.
Yeah. So and of course they've already been pushing the 15 packs of the all day IPA, which provide a little bit more value because you're buying a few more beers. Your cost per beer is a little bit lower,
as it should be.
And then I forget who makes beer for drinking, the BFD, but they also are targeting that same sort of market with that same concept. I forget off the top of my head who that is, but
I get nothing.
Yeah, and it's also kind of important for folks like our dads too, because right, they would definitely appreciate the step up in flavor, but they're still looking for something that's fairly unexotic and
right,
definitely not super expensive.
They want drinking beer.
Yeah, they want drinking beer for drinking.
Beer
that's
for
right.
Drinking.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they really need.
So yeah, what do you? I know you're into the very sour barrel aged things, which can get a little pricey. Right. But what do you think of the trend going the other way?
I have questions. Anytime you start expressly brewing things for the purpose of dropping the price point, I get a little nervous. I want it to taste good first, and then be price conducive, price. Right. I don't know, price disinhibiting.
Sure.
Second, I don't want that to be your main goal behind whatever you're doing.
Right, got it. Yeah, and I kind of agree with you there, but I also think that it definitely welcomes in a different community of drinkers too, which I think is really cool.
I don't argue against craft beer being inexpensive.
Oh.
I question value engineering the beer before the beer is made.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
I question any sort of value engineering exercise before you know if the product is good. Because I'm like, if you're sitting there with a great beer and you're like, we figured this out, how could we reduce the cost on this beer?
Yep.
That's one thing. If you're looking at your brewing system going, how do we brew a cheap beer? That feels like a different thing.
Right. Yeah.
And I have questions.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I think you're right, but as far as I'm concerned, anybody who's looking to up the quality of a Bud Light or Miller Light, try to make a better clone version that's a little more expensive, I say more power to them.
I was gonna say, it can't be a bad thing.
Yeah, absolutely. More choice is better as far as I'm concerned.
But I feel like that's what you just said is, again, starting with a goal of making a better beer.
Right. Yeah,
rather
than
just making a cheaper beer.
Very true.
I think it was just the way that you framed it made me a little touchy.
Yep. Got it.
It felt wrong. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm never going to argue against beer being cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely. Hard Yard Brewers is here in the chat. Cheers from New Zealand. Hello. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, more New Zealand talk. We got to get down there, man.
Yes, please.
Yeah, we got to go.
They're making good tour?
Lord of the Rings tour. I think that's where the Galaxy Hop came from.
Really?
I'm like 80% sure that's true.
Solid percentage of truthfulness. Mm-hmm. Yes, we need to go to New Zealand. At least 3 of my hiking trails are through New Zealand.
Right. Yeah.
None of them as hard as the West Highland Way. Thank you. That was enough.
Okay, now
I'm good.
Now we talked about people marketing beers towards those who want something cheaper, something a little bit more, just what we think of as...
The way he's framing this, I just know I'm going to be grumpy.
Oh, this next story?
He's literally starting it as here is the backstory to the bad news I am about to give you that I am going to find hilarious. Because he only ever uses this voice when he's trying to make me angry.
Okay. Sorry. We talked about beer that's marketed towards macro drinkers, a little bit cheaper, but a little bit better quality, kind of trying to sit in the middle ground between traditional craft and traditional macro corporate beers. But now...
Thank you for that summary.
Yeah.
I was here. I do indeed remember this conversation. Mm-hmm. We have not sampled that many Martzens.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Carry on.
So now we have craft brewers trying to appeal to a little bit of a different consumer by using what I think are some pretty bullshit marketing terms. They're trying to make...
Oh, good, my favorite.
They're trying to make beer healthier than what you would normally call it, and then they use the weird terms,
health beer
that people normally associate with health products, but they put it on beer. So, for example, this is a sugar-free beer product right here.
Whoa! No, wait, no. We can't move past this. You can't. No. That is not being swept under the rug. A sugar-free beer.
Correct. Yes, there are some people.
So, okay.
Putting sugar-free on their beer bottles.
Wait, hang on. This is not even a gluten-free ice sort of scenario.
No.
Let's go back to how beer works. Ryan, brief summation of how beer works. Start at step 1.
You malt some barley, you throw it in a pot with some water, mash it up, get all the sugars out of there, boil it.
You get what?
You break down starches from the barley into sugars.
What?
But then the yeast eat all the sugar, so then there's not really that much.
The yeast are the magical garbage disposal that eats every single drop of sugar and never a sugar to be seen again.
Yeah, beer never tastes sweet.
No, that's 100% impossible. We haven't had to.
Okay.
So, like, what are they serving you? Vinegar? Is vinegar sugar-free beer? Is that what malt vinegar is?
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it is sugar-free beer.
Because that's all I can imagine is happening. That's the only way this could possibly be sugar-free.
Too right. Would you like another buzzword?
I'm still stuck on sugar-free beer. I'm not getting up. You guys, I told you he was using that voice. I know what happens here.
Okay, how about this next one? This next one's gonna get you.
Wait, hang on.
Do you want to sip before we go? No, you're gonna get zen.
We're just getting a little zen.
Okay, are you ready? This next one is hilarious.
Probably not.
Preservative-free beer. Yep, beer. Our beer.
Preservative-free beer.
Our beer is preservative-free. Everybody.
Okay, no, wait. You can tell me a lot of things.
Yep.
You can tell me your beer is sulfite-free.
Yep.
You can tell me your beer is added chemical-free.
Yep.
You can tell me your beer is synthetic preservative-free. But let's go to Ryan basic beer moment here.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, what are the ingredients of beer?
Well, there are 2 ingredients in beer that are really going to help you preserve the beverage and make sure it doesn't go rotten on you. First up is your hops, which have pretty good antiseptic properties after you boil them in beer and release all the alpha acids. Second, after they yeast all those sugars, they produce delicious, delicious alcohol, which, besides making you feel buzzed, also inhibits bacterial growth.
Huh. Might that preserve a product?
I think it might preserve a product.
Could that indeed be a preservative?
Yeah, I think you're right.
When one makes things like preserves, are those possibly some of the? All right.
Okay, and we can't forget.
I get what you're going for here, but you're wrong.
And we can't forget the most generic of all terms: natural. Yep. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Now, see, the weird thing is like we live just up the road.
I have so many fewer problems with natural.
See, the weird thing is we live just up the road from an actual gluten-free brewery that produces only beers that are gluten-free, and you can't bring anything that has gluten in it into the tap room.
Besides yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
They will kick you out of the tap room for crackers.
Yeah, that's right. Or bread, they'll kick you right out. Yeah. So it's like...
No, I literally got kicked out for crackers.
Ah, got it.
I had to explain to them that was my food shelf donation for my $1 beer. And that they were sealed, and I was just going to drop them in the
got it.
food donation.
Yeah, they were going to be mad at you.
They were very annoyed.
Right.
I was nearly escorted bodily from a brewery. It was kind of hilarious, because they're the nicest people ever.
But then you think of how hard they work, and developing good gluten-free beer is hard. Because they go through a lot to make those beers, but then you see people pulling crap like sugar-free, preservative-free beer, and you're just like, oh man, the people who try really hard to actually make either organic beers or gluten-free beers, they have a lot of hoops to jump through to make those beers. But then you got people just pulling crappy terms out of their butts to try and sell to somebody who's like, ooh, sugar-free.
Well, didn't you actually do a video all about how beer is organic?
I did.
Or the classifications behind organic beer?
Yeah, I did.
And it's just layers upon layers upon layers, and then you've got, no preservatives.
Right.
Nope, none.
Yeah, absolutely.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. You're not drowning your beer in sulfites.
Yeah.
And I understand what you're going for, but you're wrong.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Dion says
those are both terms that are blatantly solved in the basic building blocks of beer.
Right. Yeah.
How is beer? Yeah.
Right. Dion says, hops are a natural preservative. Yeah. So he saw the same thing. Yep. And then Drunken One says, no preservatives in homebrew. So there you go.
Except for
Mhm.
the hops.
Yep. And Dion also said, no salt added beer.
No, I think it was no, add salt.
Oh, no add salt. Got it.
I read it as no, comma, add salt.
All right, you ready for another beer then?
After that,
Yeah, it's
Bullpucky.
It's Mega Marzen Monday. We got to get another one. So
I did like the sponsored by 3M
yeah, we're gonna do a
comment.
one from a regional brewer, and this is one of my personal favorites. And Brenda's already upset because I just talk about this beer all the freaking time.
All the time.
Yep.
For the viewing audience that does not understand, this is Ryan's baseline Marzen.
Oh yeah.
He does not drink a Marzen without comparing it to this beer.
Yep.
So this is going to be really strange.
And this is Summit Brewing's Oktoberfest, and yeah, it's a Marzen style beer. I really enjoy it. Where's the ABV on this guy? I'm missing it.
If you live in the Midwest, this is your fest beer.
Yeah, this is a really solid one.
This is it.
This one's a little more alcoholic. We actually made it all the way up to 7.1 on this guy. So maybe that's why I like it so much. It just takes me from 0 to party, you know?
Going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, those 7%ers.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, so let's pour this out.
It's like, remember that time I downed a tenner on camera?
This one's still pretty clear, but, it's, I don't know. We're still kind of at that nice color.
Nice red caramel-y goodness.
Yep. Yep, and we get a nice little half finger ahead in these small taster glasses. Oh, I poured that one a little more aggressively, but
whoa.
Yeah, it looks very good. So on the nose, definitely getting still a little bit of wheat, but this one...
sorry, I skipped straight to the tasting.
So... both the other two.
I've smelled this beer more times than I care to mention.
Yeah, the other two we tried so far, the Sam Adams and then the Porsche beer.
That one.
Yeah, that one.
The German one.
Yeah, the German one. They both had a lot of wheat on the nose. This one is a little more subdued on the wheat.
It's malt.
But getting a lot more malt. Very much a malt forward Marzen.
This is gonna sound weird, but it smells cold.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah. And now tasting this again, and this is actually my first one of the year here. Don't worry, there's more coming. But I can see why I kind of like this one more. It's a little more hop forward than the other two we've had so far. So there's definitely a lot more hop balance in here, but I feel like there's a good malt base in there. It's kind of challenging. It's not really like a sweet malt. It's still pretty weedy, but
it's definitely a grainier malt profile than some of the straight up caramel notes.
Right.
I will agree though. It's got a solid malt profile, but it's definitely more like back of the tongue.
Right. Yep.
Did I say malt or hop?
Hop. You said malt, but
I said malt.
Hop.
I meant hop. It's got a back of the tongue sort of hop profile. So it's not that like upfront, obviously pale ale heavy, malty.
Yeah.
Tingliness. It's just got that like finisher on it.
Right. Yeah.
Makes it enjoyable and not bitey.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
But it does definitely have a little zing at the end. It doesn't just die into nothing.
For sure. Yeah. No, it's a really solid one, and yeah, I guess that's probably one of the biggest differences here. It's an American craft brew. Sam Adams tries to be very accessible for everybody. This I can see, is definitely a little bit more for a craft beer fan, somebody who likes a little more hops in their brews.
Yeah. It's a little divisive. It's also definitely higher in alcohol content.
True. Yeah.
Especially over the last truly German Marzen.
Right. Yep. That one was rated about 5. Yeah. So you got an extra 2 percentage points in here.
I was gonna say, but it tastes like more than 2.
Got it. Yeah.
It tastes higher in alcohol than I think it's actually delivering.
Right. Yeah. And I think the carbonation is a little bit stiffer, and maybe I don't know if that's the pour I got or that, but I'm getting a little bit more of that harder carbonation.
That might just be you, because I'm dead already.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can swap that out. No, I still think I'm getting a little more carb than the other ones, but yeah, that's a very small thing.
Right. You know what? I think I might be seeing what you're saying, but I'm one of those people. You talked about this. I'm just gonna bring up all Ryan's past videos. You talked about this at one point, like the science behind carbonation and how it's actually like the chemicals reacting on the surface of your tongue.
Yep.
That makes you feel that tingly feeling, and that some people are really susceptible to it,
Right.
and some people aren't. I think I'm one of those people where if something is drastically carbonated or is like hard carbonation, I just taste that the same way I taste like hop bitterness, if that makes sense. Like that same like tingy.
A lot of a lot of people will say that CO2 is a flavorless gas.
No.
However, when it nucleates on your tongue, I really, really do think that you can get that flavor, because a lot of times if I'm at a bar, I can tell when a beer is overcarb,
right,
because I do get a slightly metallic twang to a beer if it's a little heavy on the carbonation.
Right.
And a lot of times, even if it's just a really nicely brewed beer, I need to let it sit a minute and just kind of bubble out, and then it tastes great. But yeah, so a lot of people do insist that CO2 is tasteless, but on the other hand, a lot of people are like, no, I can definitely pick it up. So right. I think I'm a little bit sensitive to it, in terms of my palate, especially because every once in a while I will get a Guinness that tastes like pennies. Like it literally has that sort of irony, coppery taste. Sorry, yeah, coppery taste.
Not iron.
Yeah, every once in a while I will get like a nitro poured beer or a really hard carbonated beer, and I will get a little bit of metallic twang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see. And we've also had this conversation fairly recently.
Yep.
That I have said something to the effect of, no, it makes my tongue feel funny.
Yeah.
Which I equate to hops.
Right.
That it may not always be the case.
Right. Yeah.
Because I think you taste the metallic nature of it far more than I do, whereas I go straight to that like taste bud ting.
Right.
And like the physical sensation far more than I get to the taste.
Oh, Brenda, Drunken One says, remember, pinky's out.
Yeah, it took you 3 whole tastings to make fun of my little... Look at that cute little pinky.
You guys, she's just got good drinking technique, you know?
Y'all just can't be as fancy as my classy little pinky.
Robert, how's it going tonight? Cheers. We are doing 5 Marzen Oktoberfest reviews in one night tonight. So we're at number 3, Summit Oktoberfest, which is a great Midwest regional brand. Highly recommended from me, especially if you like your beers a little more hop forward.
Recommended from Ryan. Daily. My leader is currently still the German one.
Yeah? No? Okay. Well, we'll wrap it up at the end for sure. But yeah, good to know.
And John has pointed out my inability to stick to a standard vocabulary. Yes, I think I did say tingliness. Works for me.
Yeah, I think my leader so far... Oh, it's so hard because it's like, do you like the hop forward? Do you like a cleaner lager? You know, it's...
I'm sorry, I was reading the...
Oh, yeah? What did the chat say? Huh?
Apparently, John Martinez just put his porter through his nose.
Oh, dear.
A sensation I deliver to many people.
That's
what
right.
Can I say? I'm hilarious.
You've delivered it to yourself a few times, too.
I have.
Yeah.
Like this weekend.
Yeah, that hurts, man.
It does.
Yeah, you gotta stop hurting people.
Speaking of overcarb, don't do it with one of those.
Yeah, that's right. That's gonna really hurt.
Oh, you guys. So... I don't think it was the last live stream. I think it was a time or two ago. I opened one on camera that went off like a bottle rocket.
Oh, yeah.
4 minutes of foam. We had one this weekend that was hot.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was going to be fine. I opened, it smoked a little. I went, all right, that's okay. Went to pour it and realized we were going to have a geyser.
Yeah. Yeah, that homebrew was a gusher for sure.
That was spicy.
Yeah.
It was caramel, but like with peppers on the end.
Right. Yeah.
There was hot alcohol in that one.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, speaking of tailgates in the football games, have you ever seen?
I've seen a lot of things regarding tailgates.
The beer cans, but they're not tall boy 16-ounce cans. They're like a 19 to 20-ounce can, so they're slightly taller. Yep.
Are we talking like the fat summer
No.
shandy cans?
No. So they're the same, not the big 32-ounce summer shandy can that somebody
Okay.
brought to your birthday party.
Somebody.
But we're talking about like it's the same.
It's in the beer fridge. You can come pick it up.
It's the same diameter as one of these tall boy cans, but it's about another inch taller.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
those are called stovepipe cans, is the nickname for those, apparently.
Okay.
I just learned this week, but they're becoming increasingly popular, especially at sporting events, because
Yes.
people are like,
Well,
you know what? It takes me a while to get up and get this beer. Let's get that extra 3-4 ounces on the end. And then also, it's a little better for the stadium because they can charge a little more for the same transaction,
Is your guys' Deschutes a regular?
That's right.
Point,
So
or is that a stovepipe?
That's a stovepipe.
Okay.
So there's one at the Minnesota Gophers football games now. They got Deschutes Fresh Squeezed IPA, which comes in one of these big, like 19.5-ounce stovepipe cans. Yeah.
It's the only thing you can afford to buy now. They raised their prices.
Yeah, but apparently
sad.
these are becoming really popular
Makes sense.
at sporting events. And then I think it's cool because you have these cans that are kind of changing along with how craft brewers are packaging the beer too. So we're starting to see 15 packs come up more. Right. We actually got a 15-pack sampler this last weekend.
Why is it a 15-pack? Like what drives that? Because that's a very strange number to stop at for me. I don't know why.
I think for a lot of breweries, they brew a lot of varieties of beer. So in your traditional, I think it's especially great for samplers. So if you're looking at a traditional sampler, you can either have 3 groups of 4 or 4 groups of 3 for your 12. But you can go all the way out to just like
6 groups of 2.
Yeah, but I don't know. For some reason, that's not as appealing.
Well, you can't if you like it.
Yeah,
you have to be the next one in the cooler.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You have to hope somebody didn't get to the cooler before you.
Yeah, that's right. But I think on the 15-pack side, now you can get 5 groups of 3, just like the sampler pack we had 5 different beers. You can really feel like you're getting a lot of tastings out of it, which I think appeals to a lot of people. I think us included.
I definitely
absolutely
agree.
And then for other folks, it's a little bit cheaper to package 15 than 12, but it's not. So, like for example, Founders All Day IPA was one of the first brewers to adopt the 15-pack because that beer was so popular in the 12 packs. But they wanted to get a little bit more revenue out of the transaction, but it's not quite a beer you would buy a full 24-pack, especially because some of these hoppier beers, you want to consume them a little faster.
Right.
So you might not want to have a full 24 on hand,
That makes sense.
Yeah, so, it's definitely... And then, to be honest, consumers have gotten pretty good at figuring out beer prices by 12. And if you could disguise dividing it by 15 instead of 12, maybe you get another couple cents an ounce, something like that, which, it is a marketing technique.
Not run around with their calculators out?
Some people don't. Yeah. Some people don't. Some people don't have to calculate the price per can. Yeah.
Mom, if you're watching this, it's your fault I do that. Just saying.
Yeah. And see, now you're totally right that these stovepipe cans can get bigger. So I was talking like the 19, 20-ounce cans, but you're right. We did see somebody with a 32-ounce Leinenkugel summer shandy can, which was a little bit of gut rot because I think I drank that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I drank that at a tailgate.
Oh, honey.
Oh, it's fine. I can handle it.
No, honey.
Yeah, I can handle it.
Speaking of not sugar-free, that beer.
Yeah.
See, I think that's too big, though.
Right.
Or like the Foster size. Like, a beer can come in a too big single-serving size.
I will say they do make convenient splitting, though, if you're going that route.
Yeah, but who's splitting the can?
I don't know. cans have never really been big enough to where you want to split them. So maybe that's a strategy
guess.
as well, you know. All right, gonna rinse out my glass here.
With my super classy 9th grade water bottle.
Yeah, that's right. Works
Yep.
well.
It doesn't, though. It's the worst water bottle in the world.
John Martinez filling us in. CO2 makes that carbonic acid right on your tongue there, which has flavor for sure.
I like it. It makes me happy.
Right.
I like things with bubbles.
All right. So
it's a problem
So
for
for our
me.
next one, I'm going to give you a choice.
All right.
Do you want to go less extreme or more extreme?
Oh, just bring it out now because it's going to hurt at the end.
All right. So we have...
winning the can art of the day.
Oh, yeah. This one definitely wins the can art of the day.
But they always do.
Yeah. This is the Clown Shoes Oktoberfest. It's their Märzen style lager, and they are based out of Maryland, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, brewed at Clown Shoes. Oh, no, excuse me. They're based out of Boston and Windsor, Vermont. Excuse me. Yeah, so this is a 5.5% ABV beer. Just a German-style Märzen ale, says here on the can. And definitely wins can art of the day with a cool German octopus right here in the front.
As
chugging some beer. So, yeah, sounds
8
cool
beers.
to me. 8 beers, excuse
Chugging
me.
8 beers.
You're right. So yeah, let's get this can cracked open. Ooh, look at how light this is. So this is that lighter side. This is what you would get at the festival grounds.
Whoa.
In Munich.
Wow.
There you go. Hold that one up.
That's the prettiest
little
taster you ever
see. This is definitely the more straw-colored version. And you know what? Maybe this isn't the most extreme one. We'll have to see, but yeah, and it just has a beautiful white head on it, doesn't it?
This one was actually my choice.
Yeah.
Because
You're a big Clown Shoes fan, right?
I am a sometimes Clown Shoes fan. Okay, here's the thing. I always really want to like Clown Shoes. And if I like it, I love it.
You might have a problem with this beer based on what I'm getting on the nose. Yeah.
See, this is always my problem. There's always something they don't do anything halfway.
So,
which I like. Oh, why did I smell dish soap?
So, just taking...
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's got that hop you don't like.
I know why I smell dish soap.
Yeah, so, just taking a quick nose of this. If the last one was a hop-forward beer, this one is a hop-featured beer.
I've made a terrible mistake.
Yeah, Yeah, so, on the nose, gone is all that lager weedingness. Gone is that clean flavor. This smells more like a pale ale than it does a Märzen.
Y'all know how I was nosing the last, 3 beers with my face in the glass? I'm, here.
Yeah, so there's way more West Coast hops in here. I can definitely smell Cascade right away. Yeah, mostly just piney. Maybe a teeny bit of citrus. I know
I was like, nope, it's lemon dish soap.
Yeah.
This is palm olive.
Yeah. All right, well, let's dive in. Hopefully
I'm sure it's delicious.
Hopefully it's just aromatic hops.
Robert and I are on the same page. He says the space cake and the mango kolsch are his favorites. And the mango kolsch has this, place in my heart.
Yeah.
It might be an entire valve. I'm not entirely certain.
Yeah, that mango kolsch is great.
This, however, I don't want to.
Yeah, so totally delivers on that hop promise. But interestingly, though, the bitterness fades away fairly fast. It comes on a little strong, but then is just rounded out pretty quickly.
Okay, I take it back. On the nose, it smells like you're about to get punched in the face by Mr. Clean.
Yeah.
When you actually drink it, there's almost none of that.
Yeah, it's weird though, because I am getting just way more pale ale than I am Märzen, Yeah,
I don't know if I would ever describe this. I would say it's a malty pale ale.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would ever say it's a Märzen. If you handed this to me blind and said, tell me what this is, I would say for Ryan and hand it back.
You know what this tastes like? It tastes like you lagered your pale ale recipe. It tastes like you took a fairly malt forward West Coast pale ale and you lagered it instead of just using ale yeast. And then you were like, what style do we call it? We'll release it in fall and call it an Oktoberfest, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what it tastes like to me. Not that I'm upset by this, because honestly, taking a pale ale recipe and lagering it and releasing it in the fall sounds
That's
great to
basically
me.
your favorite
Yeah,
thing.
it sounds awesome to me. So I actually really enjoy this beer, but would I call it a Märzen? Probably not. But it's definitely an American craft brew take on a Märzen. That's for sure.
It's definitely American.
Yeah. Yep. It's got all those West Coast hops
Yeah.
for sure. Yep. They're all in here in force.
It's definitely got that West Coast profile, which is odd given that none of those places that's brewed are on the West Coast, but it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good.
But
I don't know if Oktoberfest and it are friends.
Right. Yeah. But
it's good.
maybe this is the little more punk Berlin underground club scene Oktoberfest. How about that?
Says the child who's never been to Germany.
Right. Okay.
Now
we talked about.
Okay, did y'all hear the voice? Because you just did it.
Okay, next story.
Okay.
Fine. They're starting to make sports beers, just like sports drinks, electrolyte infused beers to be consumed before or after workouts.
Does that mean you cure your hangover while drinking?
Ooh, that's brilliant. I didn't even think of that when I pulled up this story. I was like, oh, well, it might be kind of nice. Because, everyone talks, there's a little bit of protein in beer, and there's great carbohydrates to replenish.
You can carbo load all you want, but that sounds like a rehydrating desiccant. Yes,
you're right.
I know
this
it's
is
not a dessicant, but I can't remember the word for.
Is this how we're gonna invent morning after beer? Is just electrolyte infused beer,
dude?
They're always
the best shower beer.
Yeah, they're always like a little bit of hair of the dog that bit you, but
don't do that. It's a total myth.
But a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of electrolytes help cure your hangover, or even just like finishing a night with an electrolyte rich beer might prevent a lot of hangovers in the first place.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Screw the one glass of water before you go to bed.
Right.
If you end out the last few hours of your night drinking electrolytes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've essentially just spiked your Gatorade.
So I mean, beer tends to have a lot of B vitamins in it in the first place, but it's really just trying to
with those lack of preservatives.
Yeah.
That enhance your B vitamin intake.
But really, they're trying to get some more C's and D's in there. Artificial D, obviously. Oh dear, that sounded very bad. I'm gonna have to edit that into an outtake video, aren't I?
If that didn't send a porter through your nose.
Yep.
That beer full of artificial D. I think we met a guy that sold that.
Hey man, when you're a YouTuber, you have to recognize that your voice is no longer your own. Yeah. It can be cut up into any number of ridiculous things.
I just say ridiculous things, and then you don't have to edit it.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. William Fletcher said double D's are better, so there we go. Cheers. Drunken One says we should invent a beer fountain. That'd be a cool concept too.
What do you mean invent a beer fountain? They used to have them. There's actually, fun facts, there's actually a sculpture display. There's a display in the courtyard of, Anne Boleyn, Henry VIII, right on the river, castle. Help me.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Oh, pleasure grounds of the rich and famous. Chat, please tell me someone's good at history.
Oh, you're just going to have to move on. You're going to have to move on.
Anyway. There's an art piece in the courtyard of this castle where Henry VIII was known for having lots of wild parties. Why can I not remember this castle? Anyway, and it's these minstrels and youths passed out all around this fountain. You're like, that's a little strange, and then you find out that for some party he made the fountains flow with beer
Yeah.
and wine
Sweet.
and other such wonderful things, and they all got drunk and passed out all over the courtyard.
Sweet. Sounds cool to me.
So, beer fountain, yes.
Yeah.
Personally, I want to go to one of those like beer spas in Norway. What was the thing we were gonna do? Oh, the Icelandic beer fest.
Mm-hmm.
They have their whole crazy beer festival, and then they have this like beer spa ticket experience.
Yeah.
And you can take baths in beer.
Right. Yeah.
And hey, all of those, B vitamins and the hair gotta be good.
Yeah, that's right. So Avery Brewing Company in Boulder.
Oh, that's right.
In Boulder, is working on its Go Play IPA, which is brewed with extra potassium and sodium in it to kind of help recharge.
Wait, hang on. Extra potassium is like my favorite moment. So you're telling me there's a beer that I can tube down the river and not get a Charlie horse after?
Oh, you're right. It would definitely help with cramping for sure. Yeah.
Because sorry, I'm one of those people where if I'm doing anything while we're drinking, I will wake up with a Charlie horse.
Right. Yeah.
At least one.
Yeah. Two,
occasionally, the one will cause a two.
Yeah.
That's no bueno.
Burning Beard checks in and says, "Spike your beer with Viagra." Bada boom. See, look, he's also interested in solving two problems with one beverage.
Medical advisory: do not try that at home. Please. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, goodness.
Thank you. And yes, Chatham, this one's for you.
Yeah.
This one right here.
Oh, my.
It's how we bonded, Ryan. Leave us alone.
That's right. That's right. Another basic beer stat is that craft beer dollar volumes keep going up. Continues to be a more profitable business than ever, but they're starting to see the total volume of beer begin to flatline to the low single-digit 2-3% a year growth. So
were we done with our potassium beer?
Oh no, sorry. No,
you just moved on.
Yeah.
Was it because I interrupted? Because you should be used to that by now.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, go ahead, finish up.
No, I thought you were finished up.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Was that it?
Yeah, that's about it.
Oh.
Extra potassium and sodium help prevent hangovers and definitely fuel workout recovery for sure.
I could work with that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I will take my protein in many and varied forms.
Right.
And I will say, there is nothing better than... I know we talk about our Scotland hiking trip a lot, but there is nothing better than having a vacation where you have to go get a beer because you physically need more calories than you can eat.
Yeah, I had a couple nights like that. Mm-hmm.
And we would eat a full meal and then go sit at the bar for a couple hours because it feels weird to eat an entire dinner and then order an entire separate dinner for when you're hungry at 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
But drinking a couple beers seems perfectly normal.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's what you get when you hike, 15, 20 plus miles a day. Yeah.
And as we've learned, if you only drink water, it's a problem.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And,
whoops.
Yeah, that's right. So like I said, the dollar volume of the business is still growing, but, we're down to 2-3% volume growth a year. And they think part of this is due to just general declines in beer consumption in general. But another part of it is
we were converting the wine drinkers.
True. But the other part of it has to do with the fact that a lot of beer just gets rotated through the store shelves and the tap rooms and goes unconsumed as consumers are demanding more variety. Yeah, I know. Well, remember a couple years ago, they had all those pumpkin beers rotting on the shelves because people didn't actually want that many pumpkin beers.
Good.
Well, but that's how you get
good.
That's how you get dollar volume or, total volume sales to drop. Or, if I'm like a craft beer focused bar, I've got 4 or 5 rotating taps a week, but that means I only buy 1-2 kegs, and maybe every once in a while I got 2 tap lines down as I'm waiting for new beer to rotate in or get cleaned. What's up?
Can we have a moment of silence for those poor unconsumed beers?
The pumpkin beers or the other ones?
Well, now you ruined it. No moment of silence for pumpkin beers.
Are you a bit of a pumpkin here?
I'm a pumpkin
beer
hater.
hater. Yeah.
I'm a pumpkin hater.
I don't know if that's come on the stream before. Yeah. Yeah, there's only... Honestly, I'm not that into it either, but there's only a couple that I really like. You know?
There's one. There's one I like.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about it every time we bring up pumpkin beer.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Drunken One says, let's make some banana beer for some extra potassium.
I do. Who makes the banana bread beer? They also make the sticky toffee pudding beer.
Oh, I don't know.
They're out of the UK.
Yeah, I don't know off the I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah, Burning Beard kind of makes a good point that the beer snobs check the dates on the cans, and if they don't like what they see, they don't drink it, which can lead to a lot of extra beer running around, you know?
He checks the dates. I buy the clearance beer.
Nah, fair enough, yeah.
If it helps, most everything I buy is aged in some sort of barrel or condition anyway, so what's an extra month or two?
Yeah, very true. Very true.
That's all I got.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, we got one more Marzen to beer on our...
Well, to revere. We have one more to revere.
Yeah, that's right.
We're not reviewing the beer. We're revering.
Mm-hmm.
This is why he runs a factual podcast and not just a beer review.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not that great at reviews.
It's also a channel and not a podcast. I've just been listening to a lot of things lately. I've been working lots of hours, which means lots of...
Okay, so finally we're gonna go a little more local. We're gonna give one of our favorite Twin Cities breweries a shout out here. We have the Udapils Receptional, and this is their German style fest beer. So this is their fall seasonal. Right on the can here, it says that Oktoberfest started as a massive royal wedding celebration. Fall in love with this highly drinkable German style fest beer, featuring balanced, smooth flavors of malt and biscuit. So, hopefully a malty one for you.
This beer for myself.
Yeah, why is that?
Because we were there on Friday.
Oh yeah, you're right. I did order one of these on Friday.
You did.
Oh well.
So did everyone else that was there.
That's right.
It's okay. I also ruined Ryan's day because this same brewery had a Scottish style pale ale.
Right.
And we have this running joke that like, ooh, that is pretty. Look at that pretty.
Yeah, so we've got another clear kind of straw colored one.
So we have this running joke that I will always read the words pale ale and don't connect the PA and IPA as being like the same sort of unit. So I go, oh, it is an ale that is pale and I will like it because I do enjoy some ales and I enjoy pale colored beers and all of those words sound good to me.
Right.
Because they're all citrus words and I never like it and I never learn and I get very confused.
Right.
So I ordered a Scottish style pale ale and was immediately like, that was dumb.
Right.
I'm not gonna like this. And it was delicious. And it made Ryan really upset because it was neither Scottish nor a pale ale in his mind.
Right.
And it made Brenda very happy.
Yeah.
Because it was wonderful.
So I'm gonna talk about the beer in front of us, however. So this one poured
Fine.
a nice clear kind of straw color. So it looks very good for sure. On the nose.
I need a pretzel.
Yeah.
On the nose, I need a pretzel.
Yeah, that's right. You getting that biscuit, that a little bit of yeastiness in there too.
A lot of yeastiness.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is a baked good.
Yeah, this one has a lot more yeastiness than anything else I think we've had so far tonight. And this again is in that fest beer kind of spirit. So we're looking a little bit lighter for a little bit more of a really crushable and drinkable profile when it comes to this beer. So let's dive into it.
It's actually got like I always think freshly bloomed yeast kind of smells like banana.
Well, yeah, that's why that strong Belgian yeast, you get a lot of banana and clove when the yeast is really front and center in those beers. But yeah, I definitely on the taste get a lot of wheat, get a lot of yeastiness, and I think you're absolutely right. This would go fantastic with a nice pretzel. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It's got just enough sweetness to it that I crave something salty and or fried.
You know what you want with this? You want a pretzel.
Cheese curds.
No. Yeah, you probably want cheese curds. You want a pretzel with like a decently spicy mustard.
Whole grain mustard.
That mustard would give a lot of aromatic bite that would pair perfectly with this beer. I think that sounds fantastic.
I agree.
And I got to figure out how to like go to the brewery with like a really spicy mustard. Yeah.
You gotta not go anywhere with a spicy mustard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. No. Banned.
Yeah.
No.
I guess. But anyway, like yeah, this is definitely on the biscuity end, more of the fest beer end. This one feels like you should be at a party. Feels like you should be having some good food. Feels like you should be drinking 2, 3, 4, 6 of these.
Ish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's weird because literally 3 days ago I didn't like this beer.
Yeah.
It's not that I didn't like it.
Right.
I wasn't that impressed.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's better out of a can for some reason.
Could be a different batch. Could be
But
could be what you were drinking beforehand. You know that all that factors.
That is
too.
true.
Yeah.
I had been reveling in the glories that were that Scottish style pale ale.
Right. But yeah, this is like a really solid drinkable beer. So
yeah,
you ever find yourself in Minneapolis, Minnesota? Give Udapils a shot. They have a ton of great beers in general, all great German styles.
Yeah.
So if you do ever come to Minneapolis or St. Paul, definitely check them out.
Not just German styles. They're obviously well known for their German styles, and with the name Udapils, one would expect them to be. But they've also got a lot of really great. They've got a dry Irish that's right up there. It's totally worth it is the name, but it's lovely and very dry.
Right.
And rarely in the Midwest does something get described as a dry, especially a dry Irish style that actually is.
Right. Yep.
Usually it's just it's not sickeningly sweet.
Right.
And therefore is dry.
Yep.
Because I think in general we kind of have a sweeter taste profile overall.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, that's fair.
Which, forbid my disgusted facial expression, I'm not necessarily a fan of.
Sure.
If I'm drinking a dessert beer, that's a thing. Why is there not a dessert beer classification like there is dessert wine?
I don't know. I don't know if yeah, that's a good question. I'll have to look into that. How about that?
So my logic here, like, we wound up in Total Wine in the wine section. This is a strange and foreign land for us. We had to ask the lady to please help us. We were very lost.
Oh yeah, I don't know how to buy wine.
We can't do it. I know nothing. I know a lot of things about a lot of things. I know nothing about wine. Other than that it's made from grapes, and I saw Lucy stomp them with her feet once. That's all I got. It comes from France or Chile. I'm out.
I like those Chilean ones. They're good.
I wouldn't know.
They're pretty solid.
Would not know a Chilean wine from Adam. I got nothing. But anyway, so you get that whole, like, the wines are divided by region and style and when you should drink them and if they have bubbles and all of these color things. And everybody wants a rosé! I'm like, okay. Beer is divided by style.
Mm-hmm.
Occasionally country of origin if you're really into your imports. I'm like, why do we not have beers by occasion? Can I have dessert beers? Can I have tailgate beers? This is what I need you to break down for me, because how many times have I walked into the beer store and been like, Ryan, I need something for tailgating at 7:30 in the morning when I know it is going to be hot later, but it is cold now.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to be able to drink it through the whole day.
Mm-hmm. Amber ale, done.
Yeah, now pick one.
Yeah, fair enough.
Good luck.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I don't know. This is Brenda's weird idea of the day.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I would like beers by occasion.
It would be interesting to see how. I think the thing is that brewing technique has evolved a lot over the centuries in terms of we added, not only hops came in and replaced gruit, then you have things like the thermometer and then dark malting and then
the thermometer.
Well, that's a big deal.
I know it is a big deal.
But
it is an advancement in technology. Its role cannot be downplayed. I just think it's funny that the thermometer.
Right. But like winemaking largely unchanged over 2,000 years,
I've never really thought about this, but winemaking is kind of dumb.
It's not dumb, but
it's not dumb in practice.
It's an elegantly simple process that can be really imagined in a lot of different ways, but fundamentally it's all the same. Whereas
you
brewing,
pick the thing, you squish the thing, you barrel the thing, you bottle the thing.
Yeah, but whereas brewing has taken a lot of major steps over its like 3,000-4,000 year history. I think that when you're thinking about wine, all right, the technique has always been there. So it's really been, okay, what are you making this wine for? Whereas brewing, it's been like, I have invented a new way to brew a beer that tastes like this. Like this Marzen beer, this lagered beer, was not possible in the year 1000.
Right.
Yeah.
We hadn't gotten there yet.
Right. So it's hard to say that a beer was brewed for a certain occasion, whereas it was just brewed in a certain way. And I think that's kind of the fundamental difference when we're talking, wine, same technique for different occasions, beer, different techniques for different results.
I've never really thought about that. That wine, you're almost entirely based on what was the grape you used.
Correct. The terroir is strong.
Yes.
I
understand. Whereas what was the grape you used and what was the barrel you aged it in versus you can do anything to a beer.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do.
And I don't know why that's never occurred to me that maybe the reason I have so much of an affinity towards beer is that you struggle really hard to find someone who flat out does not like any type of beer.
Yeah.
Unless you're my mother and you just don't like the taste of alcohol.
Right.
In which case, I can't help you. She doesn't like kombucha.
Right.
It's got 0.25%, if that.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever thought of it that way, that wine, you are limited. You're not kind of limited. You are limited.
Right.
The grapes you have and the barrels you're aging in are what you're working with.
Right.
But the beer's kind of this infinite spectrum of possibilities that, have these same basic 4 ingredients, but are completely recombined and reimagined on this brewer to brewer day-to-day basis.
Correct. Absolutely.
I just had an existential crisis over beer.
Yeah. No doubt.
This is fun.
There you go. Look at you. Woo! See, now you're getting into the world of beer nerdery. Now you're going all the way deep down in there.
I've made it beyond liking beer into having a positive philosophy over beer.
That's right. Burning Beard recommends a 12% stout for your tailgating needs.
I've done that.
How'd that work out for you?
It was cold.
Mm-hmm.
It was cold.
Mm-hmm.
I was warm.
Yeah.
It was cold.
Drunken One says breakfast stouts are for breakfast, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
That's okay. Greg says that stout is a meal replacement, and I agree, because that is how the poor kid made it through Ireland.
Too right. Brewhead said you went full pocket protector right there. You went in deep. Oh, there's the Doctor Who shirt. Yep, there we go.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops. Whoops.
All right, I got a couple more beer stories. Then let's rank these beers that we tried tonight, all right?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Wait,
right.
hang on. I have to pay attention long enough to, taste this.
Okay, so first thing is beer prices in the UK have been going up and up and up. First, you've got
Sorry.
first you've got supply pressure on things like aluminum. Now the
Didn't they run out of CO2?
yeah, then they ran out of CO2 for a bit around the World Cup.
You guys, get
Now,
it together.
now there's been a heat wave throughout Northern Europe, which has
Oh, Lord.
pressured the barley crops. So now your basic ingredient for beer,
Yeah, barley doesn't like that.
no, barley does not enjoy a lot of extra heat.
No.
Yeah, it's not like corn or even like wheat is much more heat tolerant than just barley.
Yeah. Yes. Barley. Oh, if I start on this, my dad's gonna call me and be like, you got that totally wrong.
All right, let's go. Let's hear it.
But-
Come on.
The way I understand it, barley is a cold crop. Like you plant spring and fall barley.
Right.
You
Yeah.
don't plant middle of July in Italy barley.
Right. Yeah. So and Europe had a particularly warm summer this year, which has caused another 27% increase in the price of barley. And
Ooh.
the UK, and then between that and some extra taxes implemented and just all around pressure on pubs in general, your average pint of lager is now £3.65, which is, right around $5.
It's like that's your average, and then I had to
But
remember.
That's for like a Carlsberg,
Right.
Like a really basic lager. If you want anything of what you would probably
I was
consider
gonna say,
quality,
I'm sitting here going, I don't think I've ever paid less than £5.
yeah, that's right. You haven't paid anything less than £5.
That's not the average price of beer.
Correct. You're paying above the average price of
Yes.
beer. Yeah.
It's like, A, I was in London. B, I never had macro beer.
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, like, the UK is really just, there's so much price pressure between aluminum, CO2, and barley all coming in at shortages, man. Like,
Now we're
is
struggling.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. I mean, fortunately here, I think beer prices have been steady. Steady to up a little bit, but for the most part, it's been pretty good. Unless you're going after some Trillium crazy beers, but
We don't.
that's more marketing than anything else.
Well, and here it's really hard to tell, is the beer price going up because beer prices go up, or are the beer prices going up because we're in the city's metro area and that's just the latest thing?
Right. Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. You never know. Greg says farmers need to stop wasting acreage on things like food and focus on beer ingredients. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds kind of fun to me, for sure.
Yes.
All right, last article I have for the night, then we can rank our beers. This one was kind of a cool one by Beer and Brewing Magazine, and it was all about how different brewers in North and South Carolina were preparing for Hurricane Florence that just struck over the weekend here, which, was pretty devastating. Definitely a lot of flooding, but it definitely didn't quite live up to the apocalyptic forecasts, which is great, in my opinion. One of the things I really see out of these breweries, a lot of them seem to encourage their customers and their local communities to come get a lot of the filtered water they had on hand.
Oh, nice.
And they would even fill up a lot of their big fermentation tanks. And they're like, yeah, you can come get up to 5 gallons of water from our brewery.
That's awesome.
Like, we'll fill you up. We'll help you kind of get set up. And then aside from that, they were just hunkering down, maybe canning some water for folks in the community.
I was gonna say, I like that local approach to the Budweiser whole canned water campaign.
Right, yeah, because a lot of the macro breweries will tend to can some water, and then kind of ship it to where it's needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. A lot of local brewers are kind of taking that same approach now
that.
too. When disaster strikes, brewers are lifting as much of a hand as a lot of the other community too.
Well, and it's like you've got that set up for good sterilized production sorts of efforts, whereas a lot of relief effort in a local area can be kind of ragtag, throw it together. I mean, obviously, coastal areas they've got their plans in place. They know how to deal with it far better than we do.
Right.
We don't have hurricanes up here.
No, we don't.
Surprise twist, we don't know what to do with them.
No, not at all. Not here in the Northland.
Dude, call me when you have a tornado.
Yeah, right.
We've got it. But it's kind of nice that you've got that very local approach rather than having to rely on more national efforts.
Right. Yeah.
He's breaking out the beers we've run out of table.
All right. So we've tried 5
Nope.
Oktoberfest tonight.
He's got them all out of order.
Oh, sorry.
That one and then
I don't think they can actually see them on camera yet.
Well, but I can.
So we started with Sam Adams Oktoberfest, which is a pretty nationally available brand. What was the notes we kind of got in here? It was very weedy.
Sweet.
It was very lagery. Brenda got a little bit of sweetness out
Brenda
of it.
got
too.
a lot of sweetness.
Yeah. Then we moved on to the Hacker Shore out of Munich, the import brand. That one was very solid. So it kind of took a lot of the weediness that was present in that Sam Adams. It really kind of bumped it up to 11 in terms of flavor profile.
Yeah.
And then had a little bit more hops on the nose.
Just clean.
Yeah, and just very clean. Then we had one of my personal local favorites, a regional brand here in the Midwest, Summit Oktoberfest. This one bumped up kind of the noble hop profile, was a little bit more hop forward of the beers we tried today, for sure. And definitely one of the darker and more alcoholic ones as well, which you could definitely taste. It didn't exactly hide that booze, Then we had the Clown Shoes Oktoberfest, which was actually fairly light in color. Definitely had a lot of definitely an American interpretation of a fest beer. So a lot of those New World hops could really get them on the nose, but was overall pretty clean and very good. And then finally, we had a very local one here to Minneapolis, the Udapils Receptional, which was very biscuity. It really reminded us of a lot of pretzels. I think that's what we were craving after having this one. So, what do you think on a ranking on these? Do you want to go first? Or should I go first?
You first.
All right. So I think 5th spot. Well, just because I think it was a good introduction to the style for anybody who's curious, but I think number 5 for me would be the Sam Adams Oktoberfest. I definitely wouldn't say it's bad. I would just say it didn't really pack a ton of flavor. But if you're looking to get somebody who's not so into craft beer and you're like, hey, you want to try an Oktoberfest beer, I'd probably hand them one of these. For number 4, I think I'm going to go with the Udapils Receptional. I know it's really biscuity and good, and I think it's very clean. But, I want a little bit more, it's very biscuity. I'm not sure I want complete hop and malt balance in there.
Okay.
So, it's biscuity. It's good. I would definitely drink it. Don't get me wrong. See, the thing about ranking these is it's like a number 5, did I enjoy it? Yes. Number 4, did I enjoy it? Yeah, absolutely. It's not like I wouldn't recommend any of these beers. It's just like, if I have to rank them, this is how I do it. I think in number 3, I think I'm actually going to do the Oktoberfest. Okay. Kind of the new world interpretation of the fest beer. Has an interesting nose. I think that's really key on it. I know you're not so into it. You're not a big hophead. Number 2 and number 1 are so hard to separate because they're kind of two sides of the same coin. You've got your more straw colored fest beer, a little lower in alcohol but very flavorful. And then you've got your more hop forward.
Why am I so nervous about
kind of darker? So number 2, I'm actually going to go with the Summit Oktoberfest, which I know is a big upset to Brenda, but
upset special.
I think it's very boozy and I like that about it, and it's good.
It's very boozy and I like that.
Is it completely an Oktoberfest beer? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But it's definitely a little more hop forward than what you might expect. So actually, the one I enjoyed the most today was, I think, the Hacker Shore, the one straight out of Munich.
Hey!
This thing took that kind of basic fest beer style, but really turned up kind of every part of the flavor. Turned up the hops, turned up that malt, turned up the balance a little bit, and everything just felt like it was right there, and it was so good. So yeah, I think this was my favorite beer of the day.
Well,
for sure.
I'm a little glad I made you grab that instead of the Polaner, because
Yeah,
I've had 1 or 12 of those in my time, and
right.
they're not the same.
Yeah.
So, all right, I guess it's my turn. Number 5, Sam Adams. Mostly because I think it tastes like cereal water.
All right.
Because it doesn't have enough flavor to be cereal milk.
So you're not so keen on that.
I
one.
don't want it.
All right.
My number 4 is the Clown Shoes Oktoberfest. It was a okay beer. I don't know if I would ever call it a Märzen.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was good. Wasn't a Märzen. My number 3 would be the Ryan favorite Oktoberfest, and it takes a solid. I feel like I'm giving dairy reasons. Good Lord, I didn't do dairy judging for this exact reasons. It takes the solid definition of a middle spot.
Okay,
for me, it's good. That's all I have to say about it. It's good.
Yep.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Number 2 and number 1 were really hard for me.
Yeah.
Because on
same for me. Yeah, absolutely.
But our number 2 and number 1 are very, very confusing to me, because I'm now down to the Udapils Receptional and the German one. I don't German. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize to the entire nation. Anyway. Because these are 2 very different beers.
Yes.
And I'm torn between what I want and what I think like a Märzen should be.
Yeah, one very traditional, one very biscuity. Yeah.
Yes. And I got
I know these margins are so hard at the top, aren't they?
I've got to put which is funny because you were at 2 completely different beers from what I'm looking at. But I have got to put our German friend in. I'm seriously seesawing back and forth because I personally love the Receptional and would rank it number 1.
All right, then put it at number 1.
Out of the things I'm tasting, but it's that whole it's our untapped debate. Do we rank on style or do we rank on personal preference? Because on style, I think our German friend, straight out, clean, fest beer, Märzen taste, everything you've wanted off the bat, done.
Yeah.
I'm going to rank them that way.
Yeah.
I'm going to do, if you want a Märzen Oktoberfest beer, poundable, chuggable, wonderful, this is it.
Yeah.
If you want to crave pretzels for the rest of your life.
Right.
The very biscuity Udapils. And I'm back and forth because I genuinely like both of them.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah.
A lot.
I mean, this was a hard ranking to do. I mean, besides, we both had Sam Adams in 5th, and I know you enjoyed it less. You enjoyed it less than I did, but other than that, trying to pick between these 4, I mean, I know you're not quite so into the hop forward ones, but I definitely love the good hop balance. So, it was a lot of fun reviewing 5 different styles of fest beer and seeing these interpretations. And actually, we've never done this before on stream, but I think it's been a lot of fun to kind of go through these different interpretations of styles. So I think we should do this again.
I'll admit, I was actually really nervous about reviewing on stream because, as has been noted by the crowd, I tend to say some really stupid things when I'm trying to describe drinking things. But, that's kind of what beer reviewing is. And if you can't say something tastes like a newly opened can of tennis balls, what can you say?
That's exactly right. Yep.
Yeah, overall, I think we picked a pretty good run.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. And again, I did not dislike any of these beers, which I think is why.
Well,
I understand.
At best, I felt mediocre about one of these beers.
So I think that's why Märzen's, Oktoberfest, fest beers, whatever you want to call them, are one of my favorite styles. Because I love even all the different nuances and interpretations within the style. I'm just totally into all of them. Yeah. That's what I love.
And see, the thing is, I don't know if I'm totally into Märzen's. Obviously, not as much as you are. We've
Yep.
had this discussion privately the other day that I tend to dislike beers that could be described as crushable.
Yep.
Because I tend to want more everything.
Yes.
So I don't know if Märzen's are like really up there on the style for me, but we definitely couldn't pick a I could not have a single complaint about any of these beers.
Right, yeah. So of the national brands we have here, we actually have three. We have Clown Shoes, we have the nice German import, the Hacker Shore, and then the Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Definitely recommend the Hacker Shore.
Yeah.
I think if you like hops, get yourself a Clown Shoes Oktoberfest for sure. It's definitely a cool interpretation. And if you have somebody who's not so into craft beer, or you just need something to chug at a tailgate, I think Sam Adams is not a bad way to go
Though,
either.
personally, I'd go Hacker Shore. Is that how we're saying it now?
Yeah.
I would say that is my ultimate tailgate chug beer.
Oh, sure. If you got the cash, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
All right. So I'm going to run through stuff on the channel this week. So coming up tomorrow, I have a video on hop breeding come out. And that was actually a really cool topic to research, was how do people develop a new variety of hops, and what are some of the challenges in there too? This Thursday, I have a really cool video on the coolest brewery event I have been to in a long time. So please check in with the channel Thursday or Friday to see that.
Woo!
And then this weekend, I am going to be doing a brew stream. I don't quite know the time yet, but I will have information out on the Beer by the Numbers Facebook page. So I will put a link to that in the description below after we log off here. Yeah, so check that out if you want an update on when I'm going to be doing a brew stream this weekend, because I have a great Anchor Steam Beer clone I'm going to try to brew up this weekend, hoping it comes out really, really good. So any final thoughts, Brenda?
I am going to Blackstack on Sunday to get their new People Person Pineapple Peach Passion Fruit Berliner Weiss.
A Berliner Weiss coming out in September, huh?
Yup.
All right. Well,
I don't know either.
Well, you'll have to tell us how it is. I think there's a little bit of beer left in this Oktoberfest can, so I am going to drink that up. So thank you all for joining us tonight. I loved reviewing all these different Oktoberfest and Marzen beers with y'all. Cheers. Have a great night and have a great week.